like to call the December the 17th, 2012 special meeting of the Frankfort Board of Commissioners to order. We'd like for each of you to stand now at this time and have the invocation by the Reverend William Hartone, who's chaplain of the Frankfort Police Department. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag.
Let us all pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we're grateful for life and the joy of living in this great nation. Thank you, Lord, for the blessings of freedom and the opportunities provided for our lives. We join the multitude, Father, of people who are looking to you for comfort in the wake of the terrible tragedy in Connecticut. Our hearts are torn with grief for those families and this community as they deal with the aftermath of such a brutal and senseless ordeal. We pray, Lord, that thou wilt give us the knowledge and ability to help prevent this from ever occurring again. Now bless our leaders of our community as they make decisions that vitally affect our lives here. Give unto each one of them the perspective of what is right and good for us. We also ask that you watch over and bless our men and women in the service of our country as they protect us on foreign soil, and also for those who serve here in our community to give us the peace and safety that we hope that we can have. We ask all these things in the name of Jesus and for his sake. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Be seated. Reverend Hartone, thank you very much. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Weiler?
Here.
Mr. Hedden? Here. Mr. Turner? Mr. May?
Here.
Mayor Brown?
Here. So we have 4 and 5. We have 4. We got a big crowd here today. Must be something big going on. Well, anyway, thank you for being here. And we now have the next item on the agenda is the minutes. Now, we've had the minutes from the November the 19th, 2012 work session, November 26th, 2012 regular meeting. Do I hear a motion regarding the approval of these meetings?
So moved.
Commissioner May, for approval. Second?
Second it.
Mr. Hedden, any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Weiler?
Yes.
Mr. Hedden? Yes. Mr. May?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, so the minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda are ceremonial items. So I'll turn it over to our city manager and Chief Wolfhard.
Thank you, Mayor. We have 2 recognitions. First, in the fire department, Chief Hostage, if you'd come up. We're recognizing William Bill Sutton, retiring with 14 years, 4 months service as firefighter paramedic. With him is his wife, Carrie.
Thank you, Chief. As Chief City Manager Will Hoyt said, we want to recognize Bill today. He will be leaving us at the end of the month from the fire department. He's been a great employee, great paramedic. His plaque reads, "In appreciation for your dedication to the citizens of Frankfort and Franklin County in your 14-plus years of service to Frankfort Fire and Emergency Medical Services, September 8th, 98 to December 31st, 2012. Bill's actually been with us just at 15 years because we initially hired him as one of our part-time paramedics working the transport ambulance, and then he went through the process and became a sworn employee September of 98. So we hate to see you go, but we wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I think the mayor has something for you.
I got a little plaque for you, appreciation from the city for your 19 years, 14 years and 4 months. And thank you very much for your service.
Thanks, Mayor.
Wish you well. Take care.
Thank you, Mayor.
And next, in planning and building codes, we have Gary Mueller to present Joe Morgan, retiring with 20 years service as code enforcement inspector.
Joe has been a wonderful employee for the city. She's been here for 20 years. She started in finance and been with our department for 9 years. I consider her a friend and colleague and truly enjoyed working with her, and we will miss her quite a bit. Robbie is her immediate supervisor, wants to say a few words, and then we have a plaque that we'd like to give her as well.
I just want to thank Jo for the great job she has done. She was one of the first one that I had back there, and we've had some adventures together. And so I just want to thank her for all of that. And it's bittersweet because she's reached a milestone in her career, and she's going to be leaving, and I wish her the best. And I just want her to know, though, that we're going to miss her back there.
So our plaque for her is called the Loyalty Award. It's presented to Joe Morgan. For your well-deserved retirement, your friends from the Planning and Building Codes Department sincerely appreciates the 20 years of professional daily effort, commitment, and loyalty you have provided our department, city, and citizens of Frankfort, Kentucky. We congratulate you on your retirement.
Thank you.
Now, Joe, I want to give you a plaque here from the city of Frankfort, appreciation of your service.
Thank you,
For
Mayor.
your 20 years. And I know the job that you've had, you get out in a lot of controversies and things that you do is code enforcement. But I also know that in my going about the community, I've heard excellent reports on you. So we're going to miss you.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
I'd like to thank the
Sure.
mayor and the commission. Oh, you were up. I'd like to thank my coworkers, past employees that I've worked with. You guys have a great bunch of people. And I'm just really glad that I got the opportunity to serve the city of Frankfort citizens. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, Chief, we have a 2.2 check presentation.
Jason Milton of Golden Living Center and Fire Chief Wallace Passage. If you'd come to the podium, please, and Chief Passage, tell us a little bit about this presentation.
Jason contacted me about a month ago. I'm not sure what your position is with Golden Living.
Admissions and marketing.
Admissions and marketing. We have a very close working relationship with Golden Living Center. Our crews are out there on patient calls several times every week, and we're very happy to have the relationship we do with that facility. Anyway, Jason contacted me about wanting to make a donation to the fire department for whatever we may need. So I'm going to let you take it from here, and then I'll speak after that.
I just wanted to thank you all for letting us present this today. For all the Frankfort Fire and EMS, all their hard work and dedication. Like he said, we work very closely with them on a regular basis. We can't say enough for all their hard work and their dedication. I do have a check I'd like, if anybody wants to get a picture. It's an oversized check. If I'd like to get my co-workers and I and Chief, if we could get a picture.
Absolutely. Eddie, you got your camera? All right. Yeah, we can step up here if you don't mind.
Yes, step to the front there.
They have a camera? The city have one?
Eddie's got it.
That is a big check, that's it.
Great, thank you guys.
Okay, thank you very much.
Probably work better.
Oh, yes, it probably will. We'll probably cash this one a little easier. But we do appreciate it, and for the commissioners that didn't see the front of the check, it's for $1,000, and we will put that to use toward unbudgeted items this year. So, thanks again, we appreciate it.
Nice.
All right, thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
all.
The next item on the agenda is the citizens' comment section. And the way we operate the citizen comments, since this is a special meeting, any citizen comment addresses the items on the agenda. And we request anyone who wants to come speak on the agenda, they may do so. We request that they come to the microphone over here and attempt to limit your comments to 5 minutes. Identify yourself when you come to the microphone. Thank you. Any citizen comments?
My name is Debbie Bramlage. I'm a resident of Frankfort, and I simply want to comment on item 4.4 on your agenda. And just, I encourage you to go ahead and vote this into law, so that in the future, employees who report items, matters of safety issues, dishonesty, whatever, in the workplace will not be the victims of a witch hunt. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Any other citizen comment at this time?
I may get seated before I get started because we're not really on the agenda, but there are a few of us here.
Your name, who is?
Oh, my name is Joy Jeffries. Thank you, Mayor Graham. There are a few of us here that would just like to express our gratitude for your 6 years of service, Mayor Graham. And we are very, very thankful that you've been in the life of the Frankfort City and in our lives, and we appreciate everything that you've done for the last 6 years. I know at your age you didn't have to do this, and it was a gift to the city, and we thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. That was so nice of you. I recognize a lot of faces out there. I don't know what you're here for. Oh, yes.
I'd like to say I'm in the same age group as you.
And
I'm
what's your
Barbara
name now?
Oles. Barbara Oles Lancaster.
Thanks.
I first met you in 1951 when my husband introduced us, and I have admired you, been behind you in everything that you've done, supported you, and I am so proud of you. And I know this last 4 years has been stressful and trying, and I want to commend you for your patience, your coaching, your teaching, and you have so many wonderful attributes. And I, as an old friend and an old person who wants to stand up for you and let people know you are one of the finest people I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. Thank you, Mayor Graham.
I'm Dr. Scott Green, and I just hate to see these people say all these nice things about my friend. I'm afraid his head might get that big. I've known Gippy since high school. He was a senior and I was a freshman. And he asked me to be his campaign manager when he ran for representative, and I didn't automatically say yes. And that kind of surprised him because he thought I'd just say yes. And I said no. And I was asleep. I was in bed asleep, 10 o'clock at night. He called me. And I said, well, answer 10 questions real quick and I'll tell you what I can do tonight. And he did. But I said, I don't know why you want to do it. I have no idea why you want to do it. Don't do it. No, I'm going to do it. And I said, okay, I'll help you. And well, one thing that we said that we would do or not do, we would definitely not run a negative campaign. That was the first question I asked. So Gippy has been one that has served all his life. And he has been willing to serve all his life. He served in the Air Force, he served as a coach, he served as a teacher, like you mentioned. Then he served as a representative. That's why I don't know. And then he came up, he said, I'd like to be mayor. And I said, why? And he said, I want to serve. And he has served all his life. And we're thankful for it.
Thank you, Scott. It's nice of you. Appreciate that. Okay. It's, anyone else? Okay, that's good enough for that, I guess, okay? All right, let's move on and thank you. I do appreciate all the comments made this morning from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Thank you very much. The next is for ordinances. And I'll turn it over to our solicitor, who's sitting in for Mr. Moore. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, the first ordinance is an ordinance amending ordinance number 19, 2012 series, appropriating the revenue to be received by the city of Frankfort for the fiscal year 2012 and 2013. This ordinance amends the city of Frankfort budget for fiscal year 2012-2013 to include health care costs to fund the wellness program and add health care coverage for employees' working spouses. Additionally, the amendment provides funding for the infill of the East Frankfort pool.
Okay, do I have a motion concerning the approval of ordinance 4.1? Commissioner May, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Head, any comments? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, so ordinance 4.1 is adopted.
Mr. Mayor, the next ordinance is ordinance 4.2, an ordinance amending section 100.01 of the city code of ordinance concerning abandoned urban property.
All right, do I have a motion pertaining to?
Just read the summary.
This amendment to section 100.01 provides for the updating of the list of abandoned urban properties after any appeals have been heard, for notice to the property owner by first-class mail, and by posting the property on the city's website, for removal from the abandoned urban properties list of properties that have been repaired, rehabilitated, remediated prior to May 1, and for extending the date of filing an appeal to May 31st.
All right, do we have a motion pertaining to ordinance 4.2?
Move to approve,
Commissioner
Mayor.
Wilder, do we have a second? Commissioner May, any discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, so ordinance 4.2 is approved.
Mr. Mayor, ordinance 4.3 is an ordinance concerning fitness for duty requirements for safety employees. This ordinance implements the Fit for Duty program, which will allow safety employees to establish the required level of fitness through the job-related physical agility test or the Fit for Duty program in order to provide further incentive to safety employees to maintain fitness standards.
All right, do we have a motion for ordinance 4.3? Commissioner Hedden, second?
Oh, second.
Okay, Mr. Wilder, any discussion? Call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes, and I hope other departments can soon follow.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, so ordinance 4.3 is adopted.
Mr. Mayor, ordinance 4.4 is an ordinance providing protection for employees reporting wrongdoing. This ordinance prohibits the city of Frankfort from sanctioning or penalizing employees reporting wrongdoing in the operations of the city of Frankfort and authorizes the filing of an action to enjoin such sanction or penalty and to recover damages if appropriate.
All right, do I have a motion regarding?
Move to approve, Mayor. Move that we approve.
Got a motion for approval. Commissioner Wilder, give a second. Commissioner Hedden, in discussion? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, so ordinance 4.4 is approved. Continue.
Mr. Mayor, ordinance 4.5 is an ordinance amending sections 39.04, 39.07, 39.12, 39.16, 39.17, 39.20, and 39.21 of the City of Frankfort Code of Ordinances. This ordinance amends the City of Frankfort's Code of Ethics by making technical clarifications, adding a definition of department head, requiring department heads to file statements of financial interest, changing the date for the filing of statements of financial interest to February 28th of each year, increasing the number of members of the Board of Ethics to 5, allowing an ethics complaint to be filed with the chairperson of the Board of Ethics, and stating that requests for advisory opinions and the opinions themselves shall be public documents unless otherwise provided by the State Open Records Act.
Okay, this being the first reading, without any objection, we will accept the first reading of ordinance 4.5. All right, thank you very much. Next on the agenda are orders, there being none. Next on the agenda are resolutions, there being none. And then we have the next item, the consent calendar, to recognize our city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. 7.1 is an item to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement between HCC Life Insurance Company and the City of Frankfort. HCC Life Insurance provides stop-loss insurance for the self-insured group health insurance plan. This coverage will limit city health claims exposure to $75,000 per insured and $3.9 million aggregate deductible. Wells Fargo is our broker, and they sought the bids, and after negotiations, HCC had the best final proposal. The financial analysis is approximately $600,000 depending on employee census, health plan participation, and medical claims. 7.2 is to authorize the filing of an application for the 2012-2013 Kentucky League of Cities Safety and Liability Grant Funds and designating the mayor to execute all grant documents pertaining to this application. This grant requires a 50-50 match, and the city can be reimbursed up to $3,000. The Public Works, Streets Department and Public Works has applied for funding for training and equipment such as signage and barrels to alert the public to possible work areas on this grant. 7.3 is to authorize a contract award with Transit Wash Bay Design and authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. The purpose of this item is to award the Transit Wash Bay Design Phase 1 contract for transit to QK4 Architecture, Engineering, and Planning once approval from the state has been obtained. The Office of Transportation Delivery has given initial approval for the city awarding the contract to QK4. These grant funds are available through 5309 Capital Transit Grant to cover the cost, which is $31,500. And funds will be spent from our transportation improvement account and then reimbursed with the grants. 7.4 is to authorize approval of Amendment 5 to the engineering contract with GRW Engineers for the design of the new pump station along the 421 corridor to replace the Industrial Park pump station and for the mayor to sign all documents related to the project. In February 2006, excuse me, a contract was entered into with GRW Engineers to prepare a feasibility study and master plan for addressing the sewers along the US 421 corridor. Amendment 5 covers additional fees incurred by contractor delay. This amendment will be reimbursed by the contractor through liquidated damages. The amendment number 5 is in the amount of $45,909, and the total contract is $706,750.05. 7.5 is to approve change order number 2 for the rehabilitation of approximately 4,500 feet of gravity sewer main and 30 manholes in the Myrtle Avenue Sewer Phase 2 project, and authorize the mayor to sign all documents associated with the change order. The field conditions of the pipe in the Myrtle Avenue area were found to be in a different alignment than what was drawn on the as-built drawings for that area. This led to various changes for the contractor on the construction plans. Change order number 2 covers all the changes that have been found at this point. The amount of change order number 2 is $175,145. And this total contract is $882,161. 7.6 is to authorize amendment number 5 for professional services contract with Jacobs Engineering, AKA Jordan, Jones, and Goulding, for design of the Two Creeks Sewer Collection System and Pump Station, and to authorize the mayor to sign all documents associated with the amendment. A contract for preliminary design and evaluation was awarded to JJG in June of 2008. This amendment number 5 is for additional costs associated with design and survey costs, with changes in design location, along with the addition of a sewer line for replacement. The total additional cost associated with this amendment number 5 will be $39,809. And the total contract for this project is $440,154. And that concludes the consent agenda. Oh, do I keep going with the personnel? I'm sorry. I'm a little slow here. 7.7 is personnel. First is promotion of Thomas R. Bradley in Public Works Department from Deputy Director Public Works to Public Works Director, Professional Engineer. Congratulations, Tom. Retirement of Joe Morgan, Code Enforcement Inspector, authorized payment for accrued leave. And the retirement of William D. Sutton from Fire and EMS, authorized payment for accrued leave. And now that concludes the consent agenda.
I have a motion pertaining to acceptance of Commissioner May for approval. Second,
I'll second it.
Commissioner Hedden. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, so the consent counter is adopted. Next are board appointments. I have 2 appointments to recommend to the commission. One is for the Board of Ethics, the appointment of Joni Napier Crow for a term ending on 12/31/15. Then one for Code Enforcement Board for the appointment of Louis E. McLean for a term ending 3/22/15. We've had the resumes available to us for a number of days. Do I have a motion pertaining to these?
So, Mayor, I move that we appoint Joni Napier Crow to the Board of Ethics for a term ending 12/31/15.
Okay, we have, do we have a second? Mr. May has a second. Okay, any discussion? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, so Joni Napier Crow has been appointed to the Board of Ethics. The next one is for the Code Enforcement Board, Louis E. McLean. Do I have a motion pertaining to Ms. McLean? Commissioner May, do you have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Hedden, discussion. Okay, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
No.
Commissioner Hadden? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, so Mr. McLean is approved for the Code Enforcement Board. Next on the old business, Chief.
Under 9.1 is to authorize the acceptance of the 2011-2012 annual audit for the city of Frankfort as prepared by Mountjoy Chilton Medley LLP. Financial analysis funding in the, background is the 2011-2012 annual audit has been completed and was presented to the board at the 11/26/12 commission meeting. Funding in the amount of $19,999 is allocated in the general fund, and $10,000 is allocated in the sewer account for a total payment of Mountjoy, Chilton, and Medley of $29,990.
Okay, do I have a motion pertaining to approval of 9.1?
So,
Commissioner May, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion?
I've got a question if there's a representative from Mountjoy Chilton Medley here. Is there not?
They are.
Well, then Steve might be able to answer, our finance director might be able to answer the question.
You want Steve to come forward?
I suppose so. I'm just curious to know if Mountjoy Chilton Medley ever actually saw a breakdown of the justification for the sewer fund transfer. I know that we transferred $300,000 from the sewer fund into the general fund. That's only legal if we're able to justify administrative expenses out of the general fund that support the sewer department. As in, it's not legal to just take money from the sewer department. We can only transfer those funds if it's a reimbursement for legitimate expenses. I'm just curious to know if the justification for that reimbursement was ever provided to the auditor's office.
Yes, I provided that information to, when he first started making the transfer, I provided that information to, I think it was Mitchell that was doing the audit at that time. They saw it, and basically what happens after the audit is complete, and they forward their work papers on to Mountjoy. So when Mountjoy began doing their audit work, they saw the work papers from Mitchell.
Okay.
So they should have that, and after this meeting, I'll confirm to make sure they've got that.
This is something I kind of take for granted. I mean, $300,000 is obviously a very clean number, a very big round
Right.
number. I've always just assumed, and I assume you can confirm, that that when you make an effort to tally the administrative expenses on the city side, that number, and I realize that there's some give in that number. I guess I just take it for granted that number is higher than 300,000, and that you're playing it safe by kind of rounding down. Is that fair to say?
It's pretty close. I went back and looked at it. I think you brought this up maybe last year. You
Yeah.
were asking me to see if there's any way we could find some more.
Get closer to the
Yeah.
yeah.
So I went back and looked at it, and it was pretty close. I think it was around 15% of our workforce is sewer workforce. And what I did is I tallied the common cost between general administrative and sewer, and about 14% of that number was 300,000. So it came back almost pretty close. So that's why I didn't make any adjustments after that point, because it was so close. But it was almost surprisingly came back to the number.
Okay. I mean, as long as the auditors saw
Yeah, there's
that breakdown,
justification for
then
that
I'm
number.
comfortable. Thank you, Steve.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. That's all I've got. I guess I will just note one more time for the record that this audit does confirm that the city's reserves grew by about $70,000 over the year in question, which is great news for the city. Thank you.
Any more comments? All right, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Henny? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Graham?
Yes, so 9.1 is approved. Next, is there any more old business?
We can't bring up anything off the agenda anyway.
I just want to, I'm gonna ask that every time. Okay, now new business, chief.
10.1, to authorize the mayor to sign a contractor agreement between Febco Incorporated and the city of Frankfort. Febco provides a third-party administrator services for the flexible benefit plan for city employees. And this contract includes provisions to begin offering health reimbursement accounts. This agreement will spell out, with Febco, spells out the responsibilities of both the city and Febco for the administration of the flexible benefit plan. This is, under the plan, employees can have pre-tax dollars withheld from their paychecks and deposited into medical or dependent care spending accounts. Febco maintains the accounts, handles reimbursements, and assists employees with claims. Administrative cost under this contract is $5.50 per participating employee per month plus $30 per month. This agreement is for 1 calendar year period beginning January 1, 2013.
Okay, you have a motion pertaining to 10.1.
I'll move to approve.
Okay, Commissioner Wilder, second?
Second.
Toss it up. Okay, Commissioner May, any discussion? Or please call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Henny? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Graham?
Yes, so 10.1 is approved. Any more new business? Okay. Now we're down to next to the last item on the agenda. And at our last meeting, the commissioner asked that at the close of this meeting that all the commissioners would have a chance to make some comments So we're going to honor that at this time. And I'll start here to my right and just go right down the line and take comments.
Thank you, Mayor. I really appreciate the opportunity to make some closing remarks here at my very last meeting. I ran for office 4 years ago for a number of reasons. I ran in part just because I wanted to be able to vote for a real person instead of a polished politician. I ran because I wanted to get things done with a heart full of hope and energy and fresh ideas, and just eager to get to work and make a difference. I did not run because I wanted a political career. And the plan from the very beginning, and I've always been perfectly upfront about this, the plan from the very beginning was to get in, only tell the truth, always do what's right, completely ignore the political consequences, and just let the chips fall where they may. That's exactly what I did, and I don't have any regrets about doing that. I knew that wasn't a recipe for lasting political success, and that was still an easy choice to make, because life is simply too short and too precious to compromise my values and turn a blind eye to some of the things I saw in order to win re-election. It has been an honor to serve my hometown, and I especially value many of the friends that I made along the way. I've done my best to be firm but fair, and to always consider the long-term consequences of our decisions. And I understand that not everyone sees the wisdom in investing in Frankfort's future when times are hard enough right here and right now. I understand that. But I'm leaving my post secure in my faith that Frankfort's best days are ahead of her. And I'd like to think that many of the seeds we planted this term will play a part in that. And I'm proud of the seeds we planted this term. We raised the city's reserves for 2 years in a row. We ushered in a new era of transparency in our local government. We changed the way our entire community thinks about waste. We finally got serious about addressing Frankfort's long-standing stormwater problems. We made tough decisions. We made strategic, sustainable investments in Frankfort's future, and we refused to kick any cans down the road to future generations. And I wish we had done more. I really do. I really wanted to build new sidewalks on major streets that don't have any, that need them. I really wanted us to save more money by using energy more efficiently. I wanted to facilitate more public art. I wanted to do a lot of things that I never got around to because I got stuck on my efforts to bring more accountability and transparency to City Hall. And I realize that I've earned a reputation as a firebrand over the last few years, and that I've even burned people in this room. We've butted heads, Mayor, but I hope you understand that I don't take it personally, and I hope you don't either. For what it's worth, despite my serious objections to some of the actions and inactions that I've seen here, I don't harbor any personal feelings against any of the city officials who I tried to hold to account. I recognize that we all have our reasons for doing the things we've done, and I expect that we all believe in our own reasons. We're all human, and that's part of the problem, because it's hard to hold people accountable when you know them personally, and when you understand the consequences to their lives. I remember coming home from this very commission meeting 2 years ago, from our last meeting of the term, and sitting down in my kitchen and crying, just sobbing, the night I voted to fire a former city manager for ethics violations. And I know we did the right thing, and I'd do it again, but I still cried for hurting his family and for hurting his heart as a father. My point is that I take the personal consequences of our decisions very seriously. But I also take our responsibility to the public trust even more seriously. And I've spent my political career, some people would even say I've thrown it away, trying to wake people up and shine a light on some of the things that happen here in City Hall. All right. how do I put this nicely? City Hall is full of good people who justify and turn a blind eye to staggering acts of corruption. I believe that our system is crooked, and there are very few people who are willing to do anything about it, because those of us who do stand up and speak out are targeted and silenced, while higher-ranking city officials are allowed to get away with acts ranging from abuses of power to whistleblower harassment to witness intimidation to covering up fraud to just plain classic old-fashioned dishonesty. I do appreciate Commissioner Turner, who couldn't be here today, for standing with me, for standing against me. For standing with me against a lot of this stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, the rest of us have allowed this corruption to flourish unchecked for the last couple of years. And as proud as I am of the many things we've done, I'm afraid that's also part of our legacy to the city. A shameful part. And before the folks watching at home start judging anyone sitting up here, I hope you understand that we, the public, have allowed this to happen. There's this general feeling that the city would be better off if we didn't air its dirty laundry in public. We just cover it up and deal with it behind the scenes. And nobody wants to hear about this stuff. I recognize that what I'm saying is distasteful. I think the entire subject is distasteful. I'm not aware of any tasteful way to address it. One thing I know for certain is when we hide everything behind the scenes and let it sit in the dark, then the dirty laundry doesn't get cleaned. It doesn't get addressed. It just sits there and collects mold. There's no value in making City Hall look good if the insides are allowed to rot. And we all, as a society, fail to hold candidates accountable when they mislead us. And so it should be no surprise that our representatives are also willing to turn a blind eye to similar abuses within our local government. A democracy reflects the values of its constituents, for better or for worse. And so I ask you, the folks sitting at home and watching this right now, I ask you, what does the state of City Hall say about us as a city? What does it say about us as a community? And is there anybody out there who's willing to do anything about it? Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Michelle.
I would just like to say, I thank both of you very much for the last 2 years of conversations and insightfulness, helping me, I guess, get off my training wheels when it comes to how government works. Took many political science classes, but political science classes and actually being an elected official are two different things. And I just want to thank both of you for the time we've had.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Well, I want to say thank you. I'll start with Michael, who's not here. I had the great fortune to go to school with his mother. So it was very meaningful to watch Michael grow up and be someone who wanted to give back to his community. And it was sort of a nice legacy for his mother to raise such a fine person as Michael and watch him grow up, and to Linda and her husband who raised Michael. Special thanks to them. I know that Michael would love to be here today if he could, to be here for his last meeting. But I want to thank him for his service, and for Celis Wilder, our Commissioner Wilder, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to refer to his name, but had the opportunity to watch him grow up. Not from when he was young, but I guess from college days and shooting his movie around town, and how fascinating that was to get to watch the process of he and his crews be out in the city to do the filming at night and get those, I guess, really cool shots of action. It was something to watch, and then to turn around and a few years later get to serve with him on the commission. And I know his commitment to this community is unwavering, and he'll continue, I'm sure, to give back to the community in some way. He has a wonderful, beautiful family. I know his mother is here today to support him, and we appreciate that. And looking forward to your future accomplishments. I hope things go well in the film career. I know from a creative standpoint how it is to try to have it's that left brain and right brain thing, trying to have the creative side of your brain working and having to try to work within the parameters of government. I have that same problem sometimes. It gets to be an interesting dichotomy to try to figure that out. But I do appreciate your diligence, and on the issues that you believed in, you worked harder than I think I've seen anyone that I've served with work.
Thank you.
To try to bring those issues forward. And you have a lot of accomplishments. And so does Michael, that you all can be proud of. And I think that you'll see us continue on the energy side of things. I think you'll see the commission continue on sidewalks for neighborhoods. I think those are important issues, and a lot of the other issues that you all have talked about. I think you'll see those continue to be issues that will be addressed by the commission. So we thank you for that and wish you well with your family and whatever life has for you on the next horizon as we all move forward. And Mayor Graham, thank you for your continued service with this community. I've known you for many, many years, had an opportunity to work with you when you were in the legislature, and to watch your commitment to this community and your never-ending efforts to get legislation passed to help this community. And you have a great legacy that will continue to benefit this community, and all the great things that you did for us when you were state representative continue to bear fruit for this community. And your last 4 years as mayor, we appreciate the sacrifice that you made when you could have easily just gone on and done other things and had less stress in your life. But we all chose to serve our community, and we've all dealt with stressful issues, and we couldn't do all this without working with each other. And sometimes when we disagree, we still, I believe, everyone still is going to be friends afterwards. I know that's my feeling. And to our wonderful staff, I know how much they've helped us all be able to make all these accomplishments become reality. So we thank you all. And Mayor, with that, I thank you so much.
Okay, is that my time? Thank you. Thank you for the comments y'all made. I appreciate that you get a chance to air your feelings, and everyone has that right to air the feelings. We all don't have the same perspective, but we have a right to express our personal opinions. In 14 days, I'll be out of here, and as I have looked at my life, I've sort of lived it in various phases, and I will be completing the 7th phase of my life at this 4-year period. I looked at my first phase of my life was going to elementary school in Thornhill, high school at Peace Mill. I mean, the Elkhorn, no, I went to Peace Mill one day. Then they got kicked out with the Elkhorn. So, but nevertheless, the Elkhorn, and then working a year at Old Granddad Distillery, and then going to college. So by the time I got through college, I was 23 years old. So I sort of looked at that, my life, as I look back on my life, that was my first phase. Then I had a 4-year block that served in the military. Then I was 12 years in public education, 18 years in state government, 5 years I worked in the community as a volunteer, and then 4 years now. So this is my 7th phase of my life completed. And I've learned lessons in all of those. And I have tried to apply those lessons that I've learned in those various things in every position that I fill. So what I consider, as I see the right to do. And in this position here, I'm so grateful that I had a chance to serve as mayor of this city. When I didn't, Thornhill wasn't part of the city. Thornhill didn't become part of the city next mid-1950s. So if I had continued in Thornhill, I'd never been married. I never would have been mayor. So nevertheless, as I want to comment on some people I've worked with. I've worked with commissioners, I tell you all, and I appreciate all you do. But up here, normally Rob sits down to my extreme left. And I have appreciated Rob Moore so much. He has given us, what I think, options in a fair way and let us make decisions. And then Mona, bless her heart, she has more balls in the air trying to balance. And she works hard at that. And I've appreciated that. And in this 4-year time, I have served with 3 city managers. Tony Messi, Free Goins, and now Chief Warlord. I can only say that from my personal perspective, that I have found them all to be honorable men, and that I have appreciated working with them, and I thank them for their contributions. The staff in City Hall, I appreciate you. I've spent quite a bit of time down here. I know the mayor is a part-time, but just as I was in the General Assembly, my life was such that I could devote a full-time effort to that. And so I spend hours down here. And I have lots of conversations with people in City Hall. And I've found City Hall people to be quality people. And I get out in the community on a regular basis. And out in the community, I hear lots of positive reports about city employees, the sewer department, street crew, everyone. Tell me that, boy, you got good city employees. So that's pleasing. I had nothing to do with that. They were hired when I got here. But it makes me feel good. The department heads, bless your heart, when the first budget we had to make the budget balance, we had to cut back over $1 million. And y'all went in and you cut your budgets, things of that nature. I know it wasn't easy. You get up quick with things, but I thank you for what you did on those things. And then, I can't forget this. I wanted to thank the citizens of this community who agreed to serve on boards and committees. You know, we don't have those. Yeah, they get no pay, but with very few exceptions. Some of them, I think, get $25 a month or something like that. But, if we're meeting, but, you know, you have to have those citizens, and so I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for other, I'm grateful for other groups in our community that makes our city what it is. And you know, I look down there and I say joy, tourism. They do all those kind of things. The chamber, got you down here, yeah, all kinds of things. I serve on the chamber board because of the title, and I go to meetings, and I see the people in that chamber, and I'm impressed with the people we have serving on our chamber and the efforts that they have to try to make our city better, and the need we have for cooperation. And I see downtown Frankfort, and the efforts that you all make, and I know you work together. There are 4 of you right there on that road. You play such a key role in our city because you talk and you work together. And I think the city council, commission, approves across the board what you do. That's my opinion, and I thank you. And the Economic Development Authority, you haven't been there long, I know, is in the head. But the potential of that group, I think, is to be realized. I think you're going to do some good things. And I'm so glad that it's him that you are now mixing with the other 3, because I think that is a core. And I applaud you for that. I appreciate Kentucky State University. It is an inherent strength in our community, and I hope we continue to realize that and take advantage of the opportunities we have there. Of course, we have so many. One of the things when I ran for mayor, I talked about inherent strengths. And one of them, I said, besides all these things up, are the citizens that we have, who some people not having been born here, but come here to work, move, and they like it and they stay. And they get to citizen groups, such as Go Frankfort. They do things all the time. And then walk by people. They do things. Vision people. They do things. They want to improve our community. And all that goes into that mosaic that makes up our city. And I want to thank the public. Now, some of you are here tonight said some kind of things about me a while ago. But the general public, and some of those who may be watching this, I have been humbled and honored how that you have supported me when I decided to run for political office after I retired from the Department of Education. I have been on the ballot in this county 7 times. And I would, in a humble way, say no one else on the ballot got any more votes than I did in any of those 7 times. And that's humbling. And I've taken that seriously, and I've tried to live up to that trust. Now, I go to various meetings and have all these 4 years. Now, there's a group that's called LBAR, Lexington Area Realtors Association. And they do polls of the bluegrass. And I have a 2009 poll that they made of the bluegrass. They do it as a general thing, then they isolate things focused on a particular county. So I want to read to you a little bit of what they asked the people in the counties some questions and see what is your perception of your county. This is now 2009. That's when Commissioner Wilder started our first term. Mr. May had been around for, 150 years? No, you know I'm joking. You've got a good impact, I think I'm saying. But anyway, and Katie, you hadn't got here yet. Because, all right. This is some comments that was made. Strong families, good jobs, and a great standard of living. That's how Franklin County residents describe their county. Fully, 82% of them said the standard of living in Franklin County is good or very good. And 31.3% say things are getting better. Regarding the local economy, 48.5% are eager for more economic development. And 68.5% say the local economy is better than the national economy. Asked about concerns, only 5.2% of residents surveyed believe that drug abuse is a major problem in the county. These dynamics contribute to a ready-made environment for strong, healthy growth in Franklin County and make it a great place to plant family roots or start a business. I wanted to read this to make a point that the perceptions that people have are real to them. And so in 2009, perceptions, this percentage I read of Franklin Countyans was very positive. And now, you see, I had nothing to do with that. Now, the only one up here that could, in fact, that on the commission that could have had over the years some impact on me is Commissioner May. We've been here for a number of years. As Commissioner Wilder said a while ago, the things that we've done as a commission, I hope will help to bring about, continued good feelings about our city and our county, because we do have a good city and good county. Last Thursday, a person who's lived in another state, I saw him, I go to Arby's all the time, I have meetings at Arby's. And so, in a meeting at Arby's, this fellow was in our town, comes in and out. He lives about 2 or 3 states away. And he said, he said, I don't know if people in your city are spoiled or not, if they don't like what's going on. He said, because you all have a gym of the city. So that was his perspective. And so I'm just hopeful that these 4 years that I've been here serving around, that people will continue to feel this way. I know in my first year, before that first year was over, we were recognized by Forbes magazine as one of the top, I think, 20 or so cities in the country, and number 1, I believe, in the Southeast. Well, now, I didn't have anything to do with that, but I got compliments for it. You know, they said, boy, you out there, what y'all doing? I didn't do anything. Somebody else has done those things. And other people, the ones I just mentioned, are the ones that made that happen. And then, about a year later, C-SPAN showed up in our city. And going around, spent several days in our town, taking films and talking to people. And when I was introduced to the person out at the planning board building, they said, come out, I want you to meet this lady. And she had already been in town for about 3 or 4 days. I wasn't worried she's even around. And she said, while she's here, said she used to work for C-SPAN and left and she lived in Indianapolis. But that C-SPAN was starting a new program to focus on cities, quality cities, across the country. And she's supposed to go in and study that city, and they put it on C-SPAN, and supposedly you're going to be able to pull it up if you get on computers, those of you who know how to work that. And so, and she said to me, she said, I called my supervisor in New York and told him, you have spoiled me because you've given me the best one I'm going to find. So that was a positive thing, and I'm grateful for that. I told you a while ago that I worked a year after I got out of high school at Old Granddad Distillery. I worked in a warehouse that rolled whiskey barrels. And I've gone through my life, I see mental images of how that experience of rolling whiskey barrels on those barrel runs applies to living. You can feel the whiskey in the world. Someone's got to give it a kick to get it started on the barrel runs, to take it to the warehouse. Along the way, you have workers stationed. The barrel sometimes begins to wobble as it comes by you. Sometimes, bad times, it goes off track. But the picture I'm trying to say to you is, I consider us one of those people along that barrel run. And when the barrel comes to you, if it's going too slow, you give it a twist and maybe a kick to send it on its way to the next person who will continue it. And if it is wobbling, you do the best you can not to stop it. You want it to keep going. But to twist it a little bit, straighten it up, and then give it a kick. And that's the way I look at public service. People going to public service, I think, trying to do good and perceive things differently. So we have debates. But we're all trying, I think, to accomplish something that's positive. So I'm just hopeful that during this 4 years I've spent with y'all representing you, that I have helped to keep that rolling, and hope it's not wobbling too much for the next commissioner. All right, now that we've gone through all that, we've all commented now, and we've completed our agenda. Commissioner?
I'd make a motion that we adjourn, and when we do, we adjourn in memory of those victims in Connecticut, and also in honor of service of Mayor Graham, Commissioner Wilder, and Commissioner Turner.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Do I have a motion for adjournment? Okay, got a second? All right. Call roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Thank you. Yes.
Mayor Graham?
Adjourned.
Say anything about the meeting, I would say